Hi legends, today I'm going to share with you the max DPS build for the Druid because thanks to you guys we were able to go in theory craft for 27 hours straight during the live stream of the subathon of the release of the Druid. So thank to everyone that came there to support the stream. It was absolutely a blast. But with these, the first hours of the subathon, we're actually trying so many builds. First with the werewolf, because the werewolf was the one that he actually looked at, he was looking more promising. So as you guys can see, whenever we were gonna use the chest with the seeds and then the explosions from the firewolf, it felt like it was the one that was gonna output the most damage. Also based on the private server that we actually tested out. But it doesn't matter how many times I tried to change the instance, I tried so many combinations, it always felt like the damage was a bit lackluster, especially on my free-to-play account. So with this, I decided to, you know what, let me try to go and do something completely different. And that's when I started just trying out like these builds with the surging stone. But the problem with the surging stone, especially inside the dungeons, it was that it didn't had enough damage. However, that being said, this is actually pretty good when it comes to farming. I'm gonna also share a video in the next days about this one because it is an actual banger. But then there was only one thing left, and it was to go and test it out the bear. And once I started testing all the answers of the bear, I just started like looking at this, and all of a sudden I went literally from not even 200 million DPS with a werewolf for over 240 million. And that actually literally caught me by surprise, because then I started doing things with a werebear like this. This was actually insane. Like I go into the dungeon, I just jump on them, and I just start doing millions and millions of damage. Obviously here I'm just trying to test it out, the capability. So we have here 30 million damage, and the bears just started to do so much damage. So I want to share with you guys this build because I am really excited to go and share with you. This was a finding during the live stream, and I know that Mo already posted a build very similar to it, but this one, he actually has something that is quite different from it, that he actually made my DPS go 20 million above. So the first skills is going to be summons wolves. This is going to be a standard because we're going to use it to proc the fire. Then we are going to use the thorns armor to apply the burning seeds. Then we're gonna have the summon oak cage, which is gonna create a lot of extra damage. Then we're gonna have here the war bear, which is the form that is gonna do the biggest amount of damage. So let's dive into the ancestors because they are actually super good and they synergize so well. So the bear right now for the Druid is the one and the form that actually has the best ancestors. So we start here with a bounding accuracy that is gonna make your bound to, instead of charging to the front, now you're just gonna be able to go and you're just gonna leap. So every time you're gonna leap, you're gonna get attack speed and a crit damage that it is gonna be extremely good for you, and it's gonna boost your primary attacks a lot. So you're gonna see there's gonna be a very big focus on the primary attacks. Then we're gonna use here the coat of fecundity. This is the most OP instance right now for the Druid. Pretty much every PvE build is gonna use this one. If you're not using this one, you most likely are not doing as much damage because it's gonna create an area around you that is gonna put them with the smolder seeds that in contact with the fire, it actually is gonna be able to explode. So pretty much it's gonna look like this, and then if you go and you put on the target and you have the running consequence or your fire pets, then it's just gonna start attacking and creating these seeds, these explosions, and those explosions also have like these AoE damage, which is very good. So for the shoulders, we are using the Paragon beacon. This one, it is just gonna turn your normal wolves into fire wolves, and like this they are gonna be able to explode the seeds from thorns. Then we are gonna have the shattered growth. This one is gonna make that your crush now is gonna shatter the enemy, so this is an armor break, and you're gonna be able to boost your damage up to 90%. Then you're gonna have the claw, which is gonna make you a big bear. It is actually super awesome. It's gonna have a huge attack range, and also you're just gonna increase your maximum lives for defense. Then you're gonna have here the rattling shell that now that you have your summons, you're actually gonna be able to go and become really fast. So as you guys can see here, just by me having the bears, look at this, look how fast I am. I don't have a sprint, I don't have anything, I just have my pets with me. I literally love this one. It's gonna give a huge movement speed, and it's actually gonna help you like to just go around every dungeon and to just speed farm. Then we are using the Mauler's Mint, that the crush now is gonna empower your primary attack, and you're just gonna start smashing the ground. This is the one that creates all the damage. So if I put on the crush and I start auto attacking, this is gonna do some AoE attack, and you just attack super fast, and it doesn't end either, because like if I put these, all of a sudden I just become a machine at attacking. It is so OP. And last but not the least, we are using here the Task Guard, which is gonna summon your Oak Sage, and for 3, and whenever they gonna attack, they gonna apply this smolder seeds that also gonna create these explosions. So this is gonna proc very well here with the thorns, and also together with the bargates with your fire wolves or your rolling consequence. So this is like the whole jazz when it comes to it. Then we are using here by surprise, is gonna be here 4 pieces Vitus, that is going to increase our attack speed, and also is going to increase 30% of our beneficial effect duration. And then I also tried the 4 pieces Grace. But the reality is that 2 pieces Banquets together with my 2 pieces Glooms, I actually added way more damage, about like 10 or 15% more damage, which he actually caught me by surprise, because in general I always go for the 4 pieces Grace, but 2 pieces Glooms together with 2 pieces Banquets together with the 4 pieces Vitus, he actually gave me the highest DPS boost. So when you come here to the legendary gems, well, it's just all about the damage. So we are using the Colossus engine for the skill damage. Then we are using the Pharaoh's Fang to add more damage. Pain Clasp, every time that you have the continuous damage on the target, creates more damage. Blessoak Jade, increased damage. We also have the Blood Flow right now, increases damage, increases your critical hit damage, and also applies a bleed. Mainly, these also can be replaced with any other one like Morn Skull or something. Then you also have the Berserker's Eye, increase your damage and also 2% of your crit. It is still a godly gem. Then we have the Rolling Consequence, is going to increase your crit, it's going to apply the burn, which is going to sync very well with these Smolder Seeds. And then obviously we have here the Mother's Lament. If you don't have any of these instances, don't worry, you can actually go and change them with so many others. You can actually go, for example, here, obviously with the Bottle Hope, it is a bit more pay to win, but you have the Entropic Well, you have the Gloom Cask, you also have the Crimson Bacility, you also gonna have, for example, the Viper's Bite, a Spectral Glass, a Morn Skull. So many options that you can actually put and slot on this and still make it work. For the Reforged sets, well, we are using here these ones for the PvE. They work extremely well, especially with this primary attack build, that your damage is going to be increased up to 100% every time that you're going to hit with the primary attacks. You have this 2% chance. So the attributes that we are looking for, it is going to be damage to enemies suffering of loss of control, damage to demons, attack speed, duration of beneficial effects, and also the critical hit damage. This works like charm. These are my favorite ones. It works everywhere, even if you don't use primary attack builds. Now we're gonna go here into the Paragon. Obviously, here on the Paragon, you want to go with the Unseen Dynamis, Uncanny, and the Gifted. And here in the bottom, the Bloodthirst are in the Superiority. It also works very well, but because we are also using a lot of dashes, you can actually also go with the Harbinger. Also, this is gonna work especially well when it comes to just jumping around inside the dungeon. On the legendary skill, for me, the Death's Release, it works the best, especially for that AoE ability inside the dungeons, because you're gonna have insane packs. But probably if you're gonna use these inside the raids, maybe the Overloaded can be a good choice together with the Slinger. So pick however you want, whatever it actually goes according to your playstyle, because that's going to be very important. There is also a different variation with this build that I also want to share with you with them all. This one is taking advantage with the Rabid Might instead of the summon Oak Sage. Personally, for me, this was not working as well, even if I was using the 2 out of 4 Rabid Might. But I believe that if you actually going to use the 4 out of 4, like he suggests on this video, you're probably going to be around the same damage as this build that I was sharing, because they are actually very similar, but you maybe have the benefit of also getting extra life, which is also gonna help you out inside the dungeon. So either way, go with more damage or go with a bit more tankiness. This is gonna be completely up to you. You have these two variations. Another thing that I also want to tell you, because a lot of people are saying that the pants for the summons wolves, they are bugged. So I actually test this out, and what I think it is bugged, it is the text. The text, it actually says that wherever is the damage that they dealt, they gonna heal you. But what happens is, like, whenever your pets attack and you have these pets, it actually gonna heal the pet instead, which is gonna make them more tanky. So I already reported to Blizzard, so they just can clarify exactly how this instance is supposed to work. Is supposed to heal you or is supposed to heal the pets, because at this stage it is only healing the pets. But it will be really nice, because if we could actually have that, we'll add some extra survivability. So now all it's left is to show you the mid-max rotation, so you can output as much damage as you can on this. So now all it's left is for me to show you some mid-max rotations when it comes to this build, because you have the transformation, we have to get out, get in. So there is a few things that I want you to make sure that you're gonna do well. So you go to the target, and the first thing you're gonna do is gonna use your summons, oak age, your thorns, and also your wolves. Like that, you're gonna have all these buffs, and the pets are gonna start attacking. Immediately, I want you to go and transform into the bear. I want you to use the crunch and also the bounce. So you're gonna use the leap, and like this, you have these empowered primary attacks and also the attack speed together with the crit chance. Then I want you to use the mangle, so you can do a lot of damage. Then we're gonna use another leap, so we can refresh, as you see here, the again, like the DPS of like the attack speed and the crit. And once this is about to end together with the crunch, then I want you to get out of the bear form. I want you to go and do your wolves, your thorns. You go back again, you keep spamming this, and it keeps going on and on and on. On the first rotation, your summon Oak's Age is actually not gonna be active, but on the second time, whenever you're gonna use this, you're actually gonna put all of your spells, you're gonna go in, and like that is always the same thing. So you go in, you use one time the crunch, you use two leaps, and then you get out, you go buff up, you go back into the bear, so on, so on, so on. And like this, you're gonna be able to go and reach to your max potential. And man, I actually was able to crush like so much more damage once I started like perfecting this, especially whenever it comes to the dungeons. This is definitely the highest damage that I could get for now on this druid. I still think that the druid, it is a class that over time will get better. Right now it is still not like on the perfect, you know, combination that can be like this is still like one of the, you know, early builds that we have. A lot of more instances will come in the near future, and hopefully, you know, Inferno 7, it is gonna be so much better for the druids, because one of the pieces of feedback that we gave very early on, it was that especially most of the builds, they have or dead slots or just feel like they are not synchronizing as well. So hopefully Blizzard in the next patches, you know, in the next difficulties, they actually gonna go and start dealing with this, because right now the bear is not like one of the top DPS. I will say at maximum probably is gonna be, if you have a very well optimized build, it's gonna go into probably like the A tier, maybe A minus. I feel like even like right now we have like Barbarian is just smacking. We have like a Crusader and Wizard doing millions of damage, and well, we have now the bear. So I hope they actually gonna go and they buff the werewolf, because I think the werewolf was supposed to be the one that is supposed to do the highest damage. For me, I'm completely fine that is the bear, because I love the bear. I've been playing the bear for a very long time in Diablo 4. I love the pulverize. I know that a lot of you guys are fans of the Were-NATO, but well, for me, this is like the fantasy that I like to play, which is as a big bear, because I just feel tanky, I do damage, and I smash everything. So I hope that you guys go and test this out. This is actually a crazy build for you guys to go and have some fun inside Diablo Immortal. If in the future we have more updated builds, I'm gonna let you guys know. Also, I'm gonna be coming with a farming build, and in the future a PvP build. So don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, type chips in the comments, because you guys are the legends that keep carrying channels. And once again, thank you so much for the subathon. And with this, thank you for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.